Yeah. Ready? We late. Wow, look. 5 minutes? Too late. Really? Yes. Kyonchu Sanju Rinpoche Maje Bana Ye Jurti Yiba Nyamba Meba Koni Kondam Pera Shoy Susum Dunga Chenda Che Jinjen Nyarson Me Pon Shewa Jela So Semjen Namdo Nyurda Dangchen Tamba Nam Jenin Tsatsarda So Now we can to study about Bodhicitta. We are very lucky, we are very happy because we have attained a human existence, and also top of that we have freedom in order to practice Dharma, and luckily we met Dharma, and Buddha appeared in this world, teachings has not yet disappeared. And according to Buddha's teachings, which kind of the benefit? Benefit is we receive this pity instruction, and we received this such nice guide line, and we study more and more, we be very happy. We have more and more knowledge in the relative reality, and also we are more approach to the ultimate realities. Therefore, we are very glad. In the relative realities, there's many things. Of course, everything is useful. But also, there is such a kind of struggling. If we do not understand how to use in the some relative material level or some substantial things, and it disturbs to us very much. And therefore, in the relative reality, there is something is negative reality and something is positive relative realities. And resumingly to say that these two things, negative relative reality is unhappy, all that comes from the disturbing emotions, negative heart, and basically self-centeredness, and do not understand other situation, do not understand what is really the benefit for ourselves. Such lack of the distinctions between right and wrong. And therefore sometimes we have very strong wish to have achieve happiness, but we all the times act in the cause of the sufferings. Then it's like coming in the shoulder, or the result, consequences all the times negative sufferings. Because it's like we do not know how to act the cause of the happiness. And in that perspective, when we study the Buddha's teachings, and we develop the wisdom how to develop the cause of the positive, how to eliminate the cause of the negative sufferings. That is the wonderful. When we are really sincerely, honestly, impartially to look at our situations. Our situations most times, happy or sorrow, is totally depends on our own self. Our own self. We put effort, doing good things. Everything is become good. And we don't put effort, we don't do nothing. All the times if you do negative things, 100% there is sufferings. Everything is chaos. That is the truth. It is not kind of the decided God or Buddha deities. And it's realities, that is obvious. That is Buddha, he said like this, the message. And that perspective, we need to develop in our perception of the good heart. And when we are developed in our perception, positive perception, then also externally, everything is become the positive. That is true because, and the appearances of each individual sentient beings, there's a different, And like we can to take example of the one object, any kind of, for example, maybe I'm living in French areas. There is such a kind of French cheese, camembert. Someone say it is delicious. Someone says it is ugly. But cheese itself is camembert. There's no 2, 3, or 400 aspect. But according to each individual minders, they perceive the different. Someone is happy, externally also whatever you perceive happy. If you are not very happy, externally whatever you perceive, not very happy. And therefore, of course, Buddha, he said, the mind is the root of the samsara and nirvana. Everything is the depends, good or bad, 100% entirely behind of the mind or the motivations. That is true. And therefore now we are studying inner perception of the thoughts and the attitude of the bodhicitta, compassion, kindness. Of course you have kindness. Surely each individual thinks, I am kindness. I'm great because I have compassion, I have kindness. But externally, to look at the someone's to you, you are not very kind. You wear the move, the action of the body is not very kind. The way move or the verb or the speech, whatever you're coming out, criticism, harsh word, and also mind action is also, of course, supposedly everybody concerning I'm a good person. But we are not very carefully to analyze how is like kind of the awful things we have. Thoughts. Our inner, all the thoughts of the perceptions, really carefully, mindfulness, we can look at these thoughts all the times relate to the disattachment, aversion, ignorant, jealousy, arrogant, proud, and so on. And then externally also problems. Not much harmony, dispute, argue, conflict. Then problems. And therefore, first, the root, how we can to dissolve this kind of situation. We need to look at the root of our minds, to look at the thoughts. And also here it says, during when we are studying the four boundless qualities, and there's four thoughts you should to develop. If you have these four thoughts, how much benefit for yourself, how much benefit for other sentient beings. And these four thoughts you don't need to buy, you don't need to create, you don't need to install your mind. You just depends yours like kind of the way of the thinking. Four boundless qualities you can easily to have in your mind. Just like kind of the thoughts, attitude. But it is very much a powerful resource of happiness. And according that, now we are like this third chapter. I think the second chapter is arousing Bodhicitta. And arousing Bodhicitta, yesterday we are studied, and arousing Bodhicitta, and it is the essence of the Bodhicitta itself, and like kind of the, we would say, aspiration Bodhicitta and the application Bodhicitta. Why it is say it is like kind of the first aspirations really is the may all the sentient beings to be free from the sufferings, and may all the sentient beings to achieve perfect happiness. Then it's like quoting that. Therefore, the basic is like kind of Bodhicitta is like this, but and the quoting the really this attitude or the encouragement. There's 3 kind of categorizations, and king, boatman, and shepherd. And also it's like the best is the shepherd's bodhicitta, and then it's like the according to the Bodhisattva's level, there's like kind of the 4 type of the bodhicitta: sincere or the honor aspiration bodhicitta, and like a purification or the perfect bodhicitta, and also it's like the 3 pure bhumis. You have like kind of fully maturated, or it's like kind of the bodhicitta, and 4th one is the level of the Buddha, free from all the obscurations, extraordinary bodhicitta. And this is like kind of the bodhicittas. Maybe it is like kind of the according the path of the accumulation, path of junctions, like more, of course, aspiration bodhicitta in the relative point of view. Of course, we are doing in the application bodhicitta, but more emphasize aspiration bodhicitta. When we are rich in the path of the seeing, and then it's like a more involved application bodhicitta. And of course, the absolute bodhicitta is not kind of through the material or the some different ritual things. It is needed to inner realization, and when we be the part of the scenes, we see the true natural realities, and the first bhumi, then is the application of bodhicitta seriously to acting and doing the generosities, and all each different bhumis are absolutely is more absolute bodhicitta, and go through this like according the path of the meditation and the ending of the path of the normal learning in the Buddha's level. And this is more in the book says it's like a relative point, and absolute bodhicitta is this wisdom beyond all the elaboration, truth of the emptiness. At the time you are arousing bodhicitta, absolute bodhicitta is like this. And then it's like we are, and today is like the absolute like bodhicitta. Maybe I would say that yesterday we where we are. I think it's the 4th, taking the vows of the bodhicitta. The absolute bodhicitta is attained by the power of the meditation and does not depend on rituals. It is truth. To generate relative bodhicitta, however, as the beginners, we need some procedures to the follow, a ritual through which we can take the vow in the presence of the spiritual teacher. When the need to the constantly renew and vow in the same way over and over again, so that the bodhicitta we have arousing does not decline but become more and more powerful. Then is the visualize all the Buddha, Bodhisattva and other deities in the sky before you. As for the refugee practice, take them as the witness of your generating bodhicitta and think like this. I'm just reading what we studied yesterday, and that is like just to remind you. And when we are taking refuge vow, the bodhicitta vows. And today we are the paragraph when we have this kind of visualization to be the front of ourselves, the bodhicitta deities. The front in the bodhicitta's tree is the same as the refuge tree. There's no different. And like this, then we can to say, we stopped yesterday the program with the attitude, recite the following verse as many times as possible. This one, we stopped there is, when you be in the front, or all the deities, the front of the sky, then you need to commitment. I shall take whatever effort are necessary. Till this, here's a very important, till there is not one being left in the samsara. I'm like taking Buddhist vows to help the samsaric sentient beings enter the samsara is become the emptiness. It's like this. Then the praises goes like this. We are all the times daily practice. Oh, led astray by myriad appearances, like reflection of the moon in the water. Beings wander in the endless chain of the samsara. To bring them rest in the radiant space of awarenesses. With the four boundless qualities, I arousing bodhicitta. And this is like Chansi was a Longchen Hintics in the prayers. We will say the whole is like kind of the surprise prize word. Like when you look at the reflection of the moon in the water, there are so varieties of the appearances. What is the appearances? And the endless chain of the samsaric sentient beings. The endless chain of the samsaras. Beings wander in the endless. Like chain means it's like kind of the rope. And the northern nomads, when they want to shearing the sheep's hair, and they chain all the like kind of sheeps to horn to bounding each other, like endless. And like this, and in the samsaras, sentient beings, each individuals, they like kind of the doing the endless negative actions and negative habitual forming imprintings. then they have lot of habitual negative patterns. According to these patterns, in the samsaras, 6 samsaras, each individual, they have myriad appearances. Someone's happy, someone's like such sufferings, hungry, thirsty, cold, hot, scaring, tortured each other. And each individual in the samsaric areas, they have different sufferings experience. Wander in these samsaras, endless, like chain. And when you see these situations, wow, oh, wrong path, because the wrong path created each individual negative thoughts. To bring them, rest in the radiant space of the awareness. Now I'm obtained a human existence. I met like Buddha's teaching, and also luckily I met some spiritual friend. It's given me all the explanation of the Buddha's teaching and showing me I have the great chance in order to help them. They give me skillful methods, education, how to make liberate them. Therefore, now say, I'm happily, wow, I bring them, those wanderers, endless in the samsaras, those beings. I bring them into the each individual radiant space of the awareness. Or you can do say, I'm bringing them in my radiant space of the awareness to nature of the realities. Rest in there. Or maybe you can to say, to bring them the rest in the radiant space of that means, and I'm resting in my own, the intrinsic nature of the realities, the radiant space of the awareness. Through that, I can to liberate through the sentient beings. And through that, I will generate 4 boundless qualities. And through the 4 boundless qualities, I can arouse in Bodhicitta. Like through the boundless qualities, 4 boundless qualities, when you arouse in Bodhicitta, then this Bodhicitta is the pure, perfect, excellent. Your Bodhicitta is endowed with 4 boundless qualities. Then is the Bodhicitta, is the Bodhicitta, Buddha's compassion. This compassion is the extraordinary. You can help limitless sentient beings. Like you become the sun. Sun, solas. Sun is like a naturally shine in the sky, but the radiance of the luminosities shine in the all over the universal. Whoever received this luminosities, radiance, such a kind of the benefit. This is the example like this. At the close of the session, visualize that by the power of your yearning devotion towards the deities of the field of the merit. The whole assembly melts into the light, starting from the outside and finally dissolved into the teacher, and the union of the all three refuges in the center. The teacher in turn melt into light and dissolve into the you. That is the different. And these dissolutions possess what is the difference between refuge, taking refuge, and the bodhicittas. And during the refuges, and first you have, when the dissolution is occurring, you already studied your power of your own devotions towards the deities of the field of merit. Then all the sentient beings, like kind of the immediately flying, like birds, the flock of the birds fly into the sky. Like same way, everything's dissolved into the deities, different deities. And then these deities, each individual dissolved into this principle like deities. Here is all the three refuges, the union of all the three refuges. That means it is the Buddha, like kind of you're the middle of your spiritual friend, or your teacher. Root teacher is the representative of the Lama Yadam Dakinis, or the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And like this kind of and all is like the source of the refugees is like representative, the teacher. Then teacher is slowly disappeared into this natural space. In the Bodhicittas, it is here said, first all the outside, the deities, dissolved into the teacher, union of the three refuges, like same as the refuges, in the middle of your own root teachers. In the center, the teacher, in the turn, melt slowly into the luminosities. These luminosities dissolved into you. You don't need to fly into the deities. Deity dissolved into you. That is the difference. At that moment, you receive such power and strength, causing the absolute bodhicitta presented in the mind of the refugee deities to arise clearly in your own mind. And that means it's like symbolic way, all those deities, like kind of the field, merit, dissolved to you. That means it's like all those deities, compassion, kindness, realization, it's melted into your heart. And in this kind of the make the condition, and then it's like in your minds naturally occurring the absolute bodhicitta clearly in your own minds. Then it's like very important to pray, make this wishing praise. Of course, it is Dzogchen Ranyak Rinpoche, ma shi pandam shejirchi, shi pa nyamba me patong, koni konde pervashos. May Bodhicitta say, may Bodhicitta. First to say the name of the Bodhicitta, then it's like describe the different adjective to say precious and sublime. This Bodhicitta is very precious because it's the source of all the happiness, source of all the good things, even the enlightenment and the qualities also comes from the Bodhicitta. Bodhicitta means it's the awakened mind. Actually, the meaning of the true nature of the realities. And Bodhicitta is our own true nature of the reality, Buddha nature. Therefore, we say it's the precious and sublime, incompatible, extraordinary. No top of that. That is our really jewel, precious. That is not kind of the externally. It is our own mind. It is not belong to God, not is belong to Buddha, not belong any deities, not belong to teachers. This precious mind, this sublime mind is your Bodhicitta. You don't need to install, you don't need to buy. You should to recognize yourself, your own Bodhicitta. There is such a kind of the examples. How it is the examples goes like this. There is such like kind of the petty, poor, dirty mouth beggar. These persons at home, almost no food, no cloth. But his stuff made some stone, but all this stone is he do not recognize, but is gold stone. 100 kilos. He chose to create his own stone. Stove, like to make fire. But he don't recognize that his whole life is poor. But someone came, very expert persons came. Are you very much poor? Yes. I don't know, I don't understand. I'm so much poor. But you are very stupid. Why? Because your stuff, this, why are you making like fire in this of your stone? Everything is gold. The poor guy said, are you sure? And he melted 100 kilos, he has gold. Maybe it's too late. Maybe it's like this. Like exactly the same. We have our own precious gold, sublime gold, and jewels we have had in the beginningless times, but we will never recognize. That is the Bodhicitta. We learn externally our own confusion experience or the appearances. Like appearances is the rainbow, hallucination, mirage. We never ever get kind of the really, never received any kind of the solid happiness. And therefore, this precious is in your mind. It rises where it has not yet come to base it. Maybe it's like until now we have had but never manifested into our minds. According to these visualizations, according to this taking the Bodhicitta vows, and certainly something manifested, shine out of this our precious Bodhicitta. Then we can to say, it's like, I said, never. Now I think it's coming to be here, taken birth of my precious Bodhicitta into my mind, or the any sentient beings, where it has arisen, taking the road of the Bodhicitta. May it never fail, but grow and flourish ever more and more. These prayers is as much as you can do. It is very important. Then you can to dedicate the merit with the lineage. Is you can to different way. Emulating in the hero of the Machu Shirmatas to say like this. Samantha Bhatta and all those with the knowledge. I too make a perfect dedication of all actions that are positive. In Tibet, we say Jampa Pauchata Chemba, Kondazombo Teon Tayan, Tedokanch, Jis Dolo, Givan the Tamchirat Hos. And also, here is maybe how I can to dedicate. I done some extraordinary virtues. I'm like kind of the follower of the Bodhisattva's footsteps and listen Buddha's teachings. My attitude is the same as the shepherd. And this time is I did some positive things because I took Bodhicitta vows. And these virtues I want to dedicate. Now I have also, it's like inside, my bodhicittas take the road into my mind. But how I can to dedicate? Oh, I need to emulating. Same as the Machushara, Avalokiteshvara, or the Samantabhata, all the Bodhisattvas, how to dedicate. To like same way, I also too make a perfect dedications. I often true the benefit for the sentient beings. And this is like kind of the fully you dedicate is the shepherd's way. And you doing positive things, you dedicate to the sentient beings in order to they be a reach of the Buddhahood. You say yourself, I be Buddha or not Buddha. And first to Buddha, the sentient beings, the enlightenment. It doesn't matter me. I will later be enlightenment or not be enlightenment. I not care any at all myself. I give everything is dedicated to the sentient beings. All my actions, doing virtue things, all the positive things, fully, utterly dedicate to the benefit for sentient beings. That is the really reality is the perfect antidote of your dualistic minds. That you don't need to the mentioned. You have this idea of the shepherd. Your dualistic mind is automatically eradicated. Your dualistic mind you eradicate, scattered, then specifically you don't need to purify them. You naturally purify automatically through your arousing Bodhicitta precious mind, sublime minds. Therefore, Bodhicitta, arousing Bodhicittas, particularly way of the shepherd, then your intention of the sentient beings is pure, and yourself is automatically, naturally increase or occurring, accumulation, diminish to obscurations, surprisingly maybe manifested two kayas into your minds. I'm not expecting that. Even as a rose, like a shine, two kayas into your minds. What? First, normally, should to shine the individual own qualities of the two kayas in the sentient base mind. You yourself, nothing expecting them, something to achieve, something to change. That is the necessary. When we talk like this, and sometimes make problems. Okay, now I understand. If I have risen same as the shepherd's Bodhicitta, but in the behindly, I will first become enlightenment. You have a little bit you concern yourself, then it's not pure Bodhicitta. That is, you need to take in care. And this arousing Bodhicitta is the quintessence of the 84,000 method taught by the conquerors. Quintessence, the like kind of the centralized, resuming of the Buddha's teaching. 84,000 teachings, actually, we make the resume into the Bodhicitta, the precious sublime. That is all the conquerors, past conquerors Buddha, present conquerors of Buddha, futures the conquerors of the Buddhas. Why you call the conquerors? Because Buddhas conquered from each individual the demon of the disturbing emotions, not externally like kind of the warriors. Buddha and Bodhisattvas warriors, the inner warriors, with the negative thoughts and positives. The inner, they kind of all the negative thoughts eliminate, conquered, victorious. Therefore we call the supreme victorious, excellent conquerors. That is the Buddha. It is the instruction to the half which is enough by itself. Absolutely. This is the quintessential pith instruction, which is enough by itself. Like we look at the obviously Shantadeva, Asanga, many and ancient great masters, they realized their own nature of the realities through the Bodhicitta. And also each individual quintessential pith instructions relate to the Bodhicitta. Without a Bodhicitta, there's nothing kind of quintessential pith instructions. Each quintessential pith instructions enhanced by the Bodhicitta. Therefore, enough by itself. Single food, single medicines, single drop of the waters, nectar, single food you eat, you never need to eat any others. Single medicines, it can antidote for the 100 illness. Single drop of the nectars, you drink it, in all the thirst is taken away. That is this Bodhicitta, sublime, precious. But to lack which the render anything else futile. If you lack that one is, then is everything is render anything else futile. there's kind of the problems. You have millions, trillions, many things. If there is like bodhicitta is like, those things become useless. It is the panacea, the medicine for the 100 illness, wonderful medicine, bodhicitta. Absolutely. And most compassionate. And can purify all the sickness. You know, some great compassion practitioners, they don't much take medicine. You take medicine or not medicines, if you generate perfect bodhicitta, it's really sometimes sickness also automatically disappear. All other dharma paths, such as the true accumulations, also is like kind of that is the best. All the dharma path is included in the path of the bodhicitta. There's many different varieties of to make the accumulation merit, but the single way, the method, it is the compassion bodhicitta. If you generate bodhicitta, automatically to accumulation occurring. The purification of the defilement, because when you generate bodhicitta, it is the antidote for your defilement, dualistic minds. Meditation on deities, your single deity, all the representative of the deities, it is your bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is the deity of the Guru Rinpoche. Your bodhicitta is deity of the Buddha, Tara, medicine Buddhas. Bodhicitta is the representative to all the Buddhas past, present, futures. Wonderful deities, bodhicitta, your kindness. You meditate on the bodhicitta. You meditate all million trillions deities. Recitation of the mantras. You don't need to recitation any different mantras. Only Hyongchul Senchul Rinpoche. Mashi Panam Shejir Shipa Nyamba Mepa Kone Kone Pera. Liberation mantra. Extraordinary mantras. Unification, all the deities mantra. It is the bodhicitta. Only in this mantra you recited all the deities mantras. Are simply methods to make this wish-granting gem. Absolutely. This is like kind of this grand gem, wishing grand gems. And these grand gems, to make the fulfillment of your all the wishes in this life and also in the future lives. And therefore, we should generate quickly bodhicitta, to take quickly vows of the bodhicitta. And when we generate bodhicitta, like same as the shepherd, to look after all the sentient beings of the animals, you do not put your behind, do not need to keep with you, you need to put front, protect them from any wiles, like kind of the beasts or like kind of the animals, like a kind of the cannibal things, wolf, jackal, tiger, bear, so on. Wolf and tiger, jackals are the, and that perspective, it is the disturbing emotions. Wolf of your jealousy, jackal of your disattachment, aggression of your tiger. These things like kind of a ride into your mountain of your mind, and they can eliminate all the ships of the sentient beings cannot to be in your mountain of your bodhicitta areas. Even they destroyed your own. I make like this joke. Therefore, wishing grand gem, bodhicitta, sublime, jewel, grand gem. Take birth in that mind. It is wonderful. So happy. It is not kind of mysterious things telling. It is not religious. It is not kind of useless. It is bodhicitta, compassion. One is take the birth in our minds. Wow. Maybe at that moment you want to cry. You want to excite it. Wow, now I have bodhicitta. Without bodhicitta, none of them can lead to you level of the perfect Buddhahood on their own. Meditation of deities, recitation of the mantras, any kind of methods, without bodhicitta, they never ever lead you in the perfect Buddhahood, their own ways. It is the truth. Therefore, bodhicitta is insurpassable when we are practice liberation paths. But once bodhicitta has been aroused in you, whatever dharma practice you do will lead to the attainment of the perfect Buddha. Maybe if you're like recite the single money enhanced by the perfect bodhicittas, this money is become single money, is become the multitude. It's this single money is become the powerful, can maybe destroy all your defilement. When you visualize any deities enhanced or embraced by your perfect bodhicittas, this deity is the really deity, wisdom deity, and the creation stage is become the powerful, dissolution path is become the powerful, because this path is enhanced by the sublime idea of the bodhicittas. And therefore mental recitation, meditation, and recitation, so on, this everything's needed to enhance the bodhicittas. Then they lead to you attain of the Buddhahood perfectly, perfect Buddhahood. Learn all wise to use whatever means you can to make even the slightest spark of the bodhicitta arise in you. We need to use different methods, different skill, any perspective, whatever you do. How I can to make the birth, bodhicitta take rebirth in my mind. How I can to generate perfectly bodhicittas. Always use whatever you means. You can to take even the slightest spark of the bodhicitta. Just 1 second, 1 moment. Never forget that. During the 4 activities, eating times, sleeping, working, sitting, any situations, never forget it. Remind again and again, over and over, how's going my bodhicitta, how it is. I took bodhicitta vows, and every day to recite the bodhicitta prayers. Renew again and again. Okay, like this, arousing in you. Okay, we need to, okay, 20 minutes. Okay, we can rest 20 minutes. I want to drink milk tea.